So, how long have you lived in this house for?
In the cabin, I've been in it for 7 years in September. A year after we moved into the main house.
Yeah.
It took me that long to sort of pluck up courage to order one and get it built.
How much did it cost to make?
In all, it cost £10,307.37.
Oh, that's a lot.
It is a lot. That includes everything except the main furnishings, which most of them I had given me, and I stripped them down completely and revarnished them. They would, I'd say, cost about 2,000. So we're talking 13,000
Yeah.
altogether.
What inspired you to move into this house?
Well, it started long ago. My husband and I split up, and I was in a bungalow, a 3-bed bungalow, and it was lovely, apart from the fact that my husband kept coming back and thinking it was his own home. Yeah, not good. So I decided to sell it, and we'd split the difference, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, obviously half the price of the bungalow wouldn't buy me anything else.
Yeah.
So my son suggested that I had a place down here with him. Well, my first love for a cabin or something similar was from Martin, who he lived, it's like on a fishing site in a cabin.
Whereabouts?
In Beverley.
Whereabouts is that?
Near Hull.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Dalton Home, very close to Dalton Home. It's a private industrial, not an industrial estate. It's a place where Lord Hotham lives, and he was sort of on the edge of it. And he'd got this cabin. He used to be able to walk out of the front door and have his rods set up ready for catching fish. And from then, I always sort of wanted something similar. Well, this was the opportunity. So I had a word with my youngest son, who bought a house and said we'd look for something with a big garden and I could build my cabin.
Does it get lonely?
Yes, sometimes in the winter, when you don't see many people around. I'm not a very sort of nervous type of person. I can talk to anybody. I can say hello to anybody on the street, even if I don't know them. But yeah, it can a little bit. I just stick a DVD on and watch that. I tend not to phone people so much, and I ought to. I mean, I've got family in Sheffield. I've got a sister in Chesterfield. I've got a cousin in Chesterfield, and they're far enough away not to be able to see them, but I can phone them. So, I mean, if I really get fed up, I just give them a ring, or I go around and see my friends around here and torment them instead.
How do you keep warm during the winter?
I don't have a problem. I've got underfloor heating. It's under laminate and carpet. So it comes on in the morning before I get up, so it makes it warm for when I get up. I do like it cool at night, I must admit. So at the timer brings it on, and that usually wakes me up. It's very warm. The worst problem is keeping it cool when it's hot weather. So I just open the doors and let the wind blow through.
Is like a cool kind of cooling kind of fan kind of thing? Do you have any fans?
Well, I did think about getting a fan, but it's a bit low. The ceiling's a bit low for a fan. I'd be taking the top of my head off.
That's not good.
Yeah, I think because I've got side windows, if I open those, the sun can only be on one or two sides at once.
Yeah.
So if I open the opposite side, the cool breeze would blow through. So I've learnt that by alternating the windows, opening the windows,
a stream of cold air.
That's right, it blows through.
So, what's the best thing about this house?
The best thing, freedom. It's my freedom, and it's cosy. I can cut myself off from the world when I want to. or I can invite people around when I want to. And I can pretend I'm not in if somebody comes to the gate.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, and what do you dislike?
About the cabin?
Yeah. Is there anything?
The only fear I've got is if it rains too heavy and it starts to leak. It hasn't done. As yet. But you never know with wood. You'd never know because it swells. The thing is as well, because it's a cabin, you can't pin things to the wall. You can fasten things onto one plank.
Yeah.
And have things hung onto that one plank, but you can't fasten two together. So if you've got a big unit, you can't fasten it two there and two there. For the simple fact, wood it's breathable. So when it's warm, it shrinks, and when it's cold and damp, it stretches. So your planks would all crush on because it wouldn't be able to move if it were fastened in front.
Have you always wanted to live in a smaller house?
Ever since my son lived in that cabin at the side of the lake, that was the main thing. When I used to go up there, I felt so comfortable. I felt so relaxed in that place. I don't know why. I just felt at home. And the thing is, when I came down to Nuneaton, for some strange reason, I felt like I'd come home.
That's nice.
I knew the name Nuneaton, but I'd never been to Nuneaton.
Yeah.
The only dealings I ever had with Nuneaton was a shop. I used to work in a shop in Sheffield, and they'd got a sister shop down here. Didn't last very long, but
What was the shop?
New Day. It was a furniture shop and carpets.
How did you get electricity into your house?
The electric was done by professionals. We had somebody come with a digger, and we dug a trench from the house right down to the cabin, which goes up through the flooring. It's the ground, this ground base, can't remember what they call it, of the cabin was done after the electricity, was it? No, it was done at the same time as the electricity. So that was made, and then that ran down, and then it went through, and it's connected to the house at one end and to the cabin at the other, and it's 6 foot down, and then it was filled in and everything put on top.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's been done. It's all been done properly.
Yeah.
It was checked afterwards to make sure it was safe. Yeah. I mean, the water that runs down the same as well. The water runs from the house down here. That's underground. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any water.
Yes. What type of wood is it? Do you know?
I think it's pine. Yeah, it's pine. It started off as softwood pine, but as years have gone by, it's now hardened up. And it shrinks. Did you know the cabin shrinks? When you build one plank on top of another, there's two ridges, and they fit inside the top ridge. So, and it's 70 millimetres wide, so it's quite wide for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
It needs to be, obviously. And the two ridges, and they sit on top.
Yeah.
And as time goes by, the piece that's stuck up and the top part, it slides down.
So like it kind of interlocks
It
even
does.
more.
That has shrunk a minimum of 6 inches. There is an incident. I were a bit annoyed I suppose I were with company. This corner of the cabin, there was a piece dropped off.
Really?
Yes. The corners are like that, and then the other one goes up like that, and there was a piece dropped off, and it was a fault in the wood. They sent a message. When I said to them there's a piece dropped off, I was looking for a solution for it, but they obviously had problems before, and they got the Rottweilers waiting. Well, it must have been a stray football that had done it and all this. And I said, well, no, it can't possibly be. I said, but I do know I want to know how to fix it. And he says, oh, well, we just get some good glue and put that in. And I thought, right, okay. So I left it at that, and I decided to fetch some the following day. Only it was Sunday, so I didn't. So Monday came, but I'd put the piece back. But when I got back, and I was going to take that wood out that had fell out, I couldn't get it out. It was solid because the cabin had shrunk.
So like,
So it had pulled it back into place, which is good, because if I'd have left it out, I might never have got it back in.
how long did it take to build the house?
Well, I didn't do it. I would have liked to have, but I didn't. I ordered the guys to come and do it. It cost £1,000 and it took them 1 day. And they'd finish by 6 o'clock.
Would you like to redesign this in the future?
To redesign it, there are one or two things I've thought about. I do love it, but the thing I miss, I think, I'd intended building an extra piece on the back for like a separate bedroom and a bathroom, but it never happened. So I'd moved. The cabin was forward, so there's a lot of land at the back.
Is there?
There's quite a bit of land. I'm not showing it here because it's covered in wood at the moment. But there is a lot of land at the back, and I would have liked to have built an extra cabin on the back and a doorway through the back
So you can have
into
like
the new
a
cabin.
little